Here's an aviation riddle. Airlines, the companies with the planes, the pilots, the glamour, are one of history's worst businesses. Warren Buffett joked that a far-sighted capitalist at Kitty Hawk should have shot down the Wright brothers to save investors' money. Every major American carrier has been through bankruptcy. Over a century, the industry's cumulative profits barely clear zero. And yet the buildings those broke airlines fly between the airports are quiet gold mines, stable, profitable, fought over by pension funds as some of the safest infrastructure on Earth. Same industry, same passengers, same building even. So what do airports know that airlines don't? Simple. They figured out that the worst business in the terminal is the flying. Today, how airports actually make money and why you in the parking garage are the real product. Today on the Money Atlas, the two-sided business hiding inside every terminal and the monopoly math that makes it unbeatable. Quick thing before we dig in. If you enjoy stories that make the world make sense, subscribing is the best way to see the next one and it costs you nothing. All right, let's get into it. Every airport is secretly two businesses wearing one trench coat. Business 1, the aeronautical side, runways, gates, landing fees charged to airlines. This side is usually regulated like a utility because an airport is a natural monopoly. Governments cap what it can charge airlines, so margins there are deliberately thin. Business 2, everything else, the shops, the restaurants, the parking garages, the ad screens, the hotels, the currency exchanges with those criminal rates. This side is barely regulated at all because nobody forces you to buy a croissant. Guess which side pays for the airport? The industry has a phrase for the modern model, and it's beautifully honest. A shopping mall with a runway attached. The global numbers. Roughly 42% of all airport income worldwide is non-aeronautical, nothing to do with flying. And at big international hubs, it's often the majority. Break that commercial income down and look what's hiding in second place. Retail and duty-free, 29% expected, but parking, 28%. Nearly a third of the world's airport commercial income is asphalt. At Britain's 4 biggest airports, parking alone brings in around £700 million a year, £2 million a day, for storing metal boxes on concrete. The margins on a parking space make luxury handbags look like charity work. The most profitable square meters at most airports have no roof. Linger on parking, because it's a masterclass in monopoly pricing. Airports run tiered lots, $60 a day premium next to the terminal, $25 at the shuttle lot, not because costs differ, but to sort travelers by desperation. Economists call it price discrimination, and airports execute it better than airlines. Pre-booking websites harvest data and lock you in early. Some U.S. airports historically drew 40% or more of their non-airline income from parking alone, which explains a genuinely funny strategic panic. The biggest financial threat many airports faced in the 2010s wasn't terrorism or recession. It was Uber. Every drop-off is a parking customer lost, and airports responded exactly like the monopolists they are, by charging rideshare cars a pickup fee. If you can't park them, toll them. Then there's the crown jewel, duty-free. At Dubai International, from our last episode, the airport's own retail arm sells over $2.1 billion a year of perfume, whiskey, chocolate, and gold. One airport's shops out-turning entire airlines' lifetime profits. Heathrow's retail take, £700 million a year and climbing. Why does it work so well? The industry calls it the golden hour. You've cleared security, you're relaxed or bored, you can't leave. Your vacation brain has already switched spending mode on. And the shop between you and your gate is, by design, the only shop in your universe. Duty-free isn't retail. It's retail with the exits locked. And how does the airport landlord charge its shops? Not like a mall. Airport retail contracts typically take a percentage of every sale, often with a guaranteed minimum, so the airport wins whether the shop thrives or starves. Sound familiar? It's the McDonald's rent model from episode 11, applied to perfume. The shops accept terms no high street landlord could dream of, because the airport delivers something no high street can. A conveyor belt of affluent, bored, captive customers, metered through security in predictable thousands per hour. The airport knows every tenant's revenue to the cent. The tills report automatically and retenders the space to the highest bidder every few years. It's not renting square meters. It's selling access to you. Understand your own role in this machine. Airlines see you as self-loading cargo, their words, not mine. Airports see you as something more valuable, dwell time with a wallet. Every design choice follows. Security spits you out directly into the shops, often via a winding path through them, IKEA style, remember episode 5. Gates are announced late, so you linger in the retail zone, not at the gate. Walking distances are long past maximum shop frontage. Even the famous airport stress, will I make it? Is it delayed? Helps. Anxious people buy water, coffee, and why not chocolate? The terminal is not architecture. It's a conversion funnel with boarding bridges. And there's an asset class here most people have never heard of: slots. At full airports like Heathrow, the right to land and take off, one arrival, one departure per day, is a tradable asset. Airlines have reportedly paid up to $75 million for a single daily slot pair. Not for a plane, not for a gate, for permission. Why? Because Heathrow is full and you cannot build another Heathrow politically, physically, financially. Which is the deepest truth of airport economics. Scarcity is the product. An airline can be founded by anyone with leased planes and courage. That's why they all go broke competing. An airport cannot be founded at all. Slots come with one rule that produced aviation's most absurd spectacle: use it or lose it. Fly your slot at least 80% of the season, or it's confiscated and handed to a rival. In the empty skies of 2020, when passengers vanished but the rule initially didn't, airlines flew thousands of ghost flights, completely empty aircraft, burning fuel across Europe, purely to defend slot portfolios worth hundreds of millions. Environmentalists were horrified. Economists just nodded. When a free, grandfathered asset is worth $75 million a pair, burning jet fuel to keep it is, grimly, rational. Nothing reveals the true value of airport capacity like watching airlines pay to fly nobody, nowhere. Put the two businesses side by side, and the riddle from our opening solves itself. Airlines operate in near-perfect competition. Identical planes, identical routes, customers choosing purely on price, the textbook recipe for zero long-run profit. Airports are the opposite, local monopolies. You don't choose an airport, your city chose it decades ago. Fly from London, you use London's airports, whatever they charge for the sandwich. And while regulators cap the aeronautical fees, the sandwich, the parking, the perfume float free. It's the McDonald's lesson from episode 11, inverted. When your core product's price is capped, you make the real money on everything around it. Where does this logic end? Singapore, of course it's Singapore, episode 9, built the answer. Jewel, a $1.3 billion glass dome at Changi Airport containing a forest, the world's tallest indoor waterfall, and 280 shops. Locals go there on weekends with no flight to catch. The airport has completed its final transformation, from infrastructure that enables travel to a destination that happens to offer it. Incheon has a golf course and a skating rink. Doha has an art museum. Istanbul built one of the biggest terminals on Earth as a national shopping statement. The runway, increasingly, is the anchor tenant, the thing that delivers foot traffic to the mall. Follow the ownership and you'll find the world's most sophisticated money quietly holding the doors. Over the past 3 decades, governments privatized airports across Europe, Australia, and beyond, and the buyers weren't airlines or hoteliers. They were pension funds, insurers, and sovereign wealth funds. Australian teachers own stakes in Sydney's airport. Canadian pensions and Gulf funds circle Heathrow. Why do the most conservative investors on Earth fight over terminals? Because an airport is the dream asset. Monopoly position, inflation-linked income from a dozen streams, demand that has grown almost every decade for a century, and a regulator guaranteeing a return on the boring half. Airlines are lottery tickets. Airports are bonds with duty-free attached, and the smart money noticed long ago. So who funds this golden machine? You do, in the most price-insensitive moment of your life. €8 airport water isn't an accident. It's a rational monopoly price. $60 a day parking exists because the alternative is missing your flight. The currency exchange spread, the fast-track fee, the lounge day pass, everyone is priced against your stress, your schedule, and your total lack of alternatives. Economists call it inelastic demand. Airports call it Tuesday. And honestly, it's one of the most openly visible monopolies in daily life. We just don't notice because we're too busy checking the departure board. Step back and you'll see the pattern of this whole series again. The glamorous layer of an industry, the airlines, the burgers, the furniture, competes itself to the bone in public. And one layer beneath, quieter and duller, sits the real business. The land under the franchise, the box under the cargo, the fee under the membership, and the mall under the flight path. A century of aviation made almost no money for the people flying the planes. It made fortunes for the people who own where the planes stop. If this changed how you'll see your next layover, do 3 quick things. Tap like so more people find the video. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And turn on notifications because next time we visit the biggest asset class on planet Earth, and it's 90 million empty homes. China built cities for nobody, and the bill just came due. Ghost cities and the $50 trillion bet. All the sources are in the description. This has been the Money Atlas. See you in the next one.